there might be a fundamental discrepancy or difference between how the government approaches things and how at least a part of the crypto community, looks at things. So the idea of the government works through a lens of something called trust but verify, which means really you never trust anything fully. You always have to be able to come back and verify it. So trust, but be able to verify. So the idea of having any kind of technology, whether it's voting technology or currency or something else, if there's no way that you can go back and verify that the results are in fact trustworthy, then no government of a first world country is going to participate in that kind of activity, because it goes against the fundamental opinion or the fundamental capability that they have to police or enforce the laws of the land. So that's where the verify piece comes from. So if you were to have a trustless system where essentially like it's all handled through encrypted communication and nobody can go back and actually confirm the results or go back and confirm what data was collected or how it was collected in a seamless way, then that would be something that the governments would kind of push against inherently. Otherwise, it always leaves. It always leaves. David, hold on, David. David, hold on. Hold on. You love to tell me how wrong I am, and you love to say how right you are, but I feel like, that is a traditional American point of view. So I kind of feel like when you talk, you are talking like a traditional idealistic American, which is fine, but that's not the kind of conversation I'm trying to have, and that's not the kind of conversation I want to give the folks paying attention, right? If you want to understand how the government thinks through a lens of, I would love to trust, but I can never trust, so I have to be able to verify independently of whatever you tell me.
Yes, okay, and I think you're right. It's a good point, but it's really a part of the problem. I just wanted to point out that in the modern world with cryptography, like that theorem that I mentioned, that I got this big deal award from the ACM about, we've proven mathematically that it's just simply not true. That you can be more sure that the election was correct just by using the crypto than you could ever be by some kind of audit. And so, I want to make a general comment here because it's a pretty wide audience, and I just want to share my insights. And I'm sorry, and I'm not criticizing you. I realize you're giving the perspective of government. It's very interesting. But yeah, all right.
Well, to that point,
I'll come back to the point I'd like to make. Let me not interrupt the flow here.
Well, he was just talking about the trustless and verifiable nature. But to your point, that we hear central planners such as like Klaus Schwab talk about a major cyber attack that's going to happen, and there's more attack vectors than just like quantum computing, right? A lot of these encryption technologies can break, and you brought up Swift earlier. I believe Swift was hacked with like a fax machine like 10 years ago or something. North Korea hacked billions of dollars from Swift. Now, what I'm getting to is the central planners keep putting it out there that there's a cyber attack. Now, I don't know if that's because of just because they're studying it and worrying about the possibility, or if they're actually like kind of forecasting something. You can never really tell if that's, if somebody's forecasting something or somebody is actually saying it. So my question really is do you think that central planners have that type of control? What are the implications of a cyber attack?
Yeah, I think that you're asking the right kind of question here, Darren, right? The fact is there will always be bad guys. Always. There's always going to be people who try to innovate and create a better way, right? I think David is one of those better way types of people. Then there will always be people who want to follow the most efficient path, right? So there will always be followers who follow the lead, but then there will always also be villains. People who want to take advantage of the followers and people who are going to try to find a loophole or a weakness in what the leaders are creating. You have to understand that that's just human nature. That's just how it works, right? That's human beings as a populace. So because of that, leaders have to always be recognizing that the very innovative things that they're working on are also going to be the priority targets for villains to try to understand and manipulate and take advantage of before they have wide-scale adoption by the main population. So when you talk about things like cryptocurrency, when you talk about things like trustless voting, when you talk about any kind of cutting-edge cryptography, it will always be a target for villainous nation states and for independent criminals and cyber criminals, because if they can figure out how to use that, or they can figure out how to hack that or get into the back door of that before it has widespread utility or widespread use, then they're going to have an actual fungible asset that they can steal from or that they can profiteer off of. As long as there have been pirates never targeted small boats. Pirates targeted big, rich boats. And that's just kind of the way it works. So that you've always got to recognize that no matter what cutting edge technology you're working on, there's going to be the most cutting edge criminals trying to take advantage of that for their own gain.
If you like this short clip, make sure you click here to see the next clip or here to see the full podcast episode.